Well, Republican Congressman and serial liar George Santos has announced he's going to be running for re-election. After scamming the voters of New York's 3rd District into this position of power by lying about who he was, lying about his resume to get into this position, he's going to turn around and say, keep me here, re-elect me. We'll get to some new reporting, by the way, on his mysterious financial situation in a second, but first, here's this from Twitter. Announcement, he says, I am proudly announcing my bid for re-election for New York's 3rd District. This is about taking back our country and restoring greatness back to New York. To support, donate here, and then he provides a link and also attaches this press release. I won't read it all, but you can see it there. Today, Congressman George Santos announces his 2024 re-election campaign to continue serving the people of New York's 3rd Congressional District. Now, hopefully, he will be trounced in this election. Hopefully, the voters, as I expect them to, will respond rationally to the fact that he indeed is one of the most dishonest political figures we've seen in a very long time, pretty historically dishonest, and will reject his re-election bid. But we will have to see. And this yet again shows there's just no integrity there. I mean, we knew that with the initial lies. We knew that with him deciding not to resign after being exposed for them. And now we see it even more. No dignity, no integrity. It's just all about his own ego. Here from the Daily Beast, George Santos' mysterious campaign loans somehow get even more mysterious. Representative George Santos announced Monday that he would counter previously reported promises, run for another term in Congress. But it's his latest campaign finance report filed just a few days earlier that's truly mystifying watchdogs, as Santos made yet another seemingly inexplicable change to a central question about his finances. How and now when did he loan his campaign hundreds of thousands of dollars? Given the reported investigations into Santos' finances at the local, state, and federal levels, it's the loan information that is perhaps most notable, at least from a legal perspective. And then it talks about the $700,000 loan that has been in question for a while now, because of his financial situation, where in 2020 he had $55,000 reported as his earnings for that year and zero assets, but then loaned his campaign $80,000. The next year, he has $11 million in assets and was raking in $750,000 annually, which that is supposed to explain how all of a sudden he was able to donate $700,000 to his campaign. But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially considering now he's changing all these specifics about the disclosure about this loan. And that's where we'll pick up here. As for the total loan amount, the report suggests that between the last two filings, $40,000 in Santos-backed loans vanished from the campaign's debt. The campaign's previous report covering the tail end of 2022 showed he loaned his campaign a total $755,000 over the 2022 cycle. Saturday's report knocked that down to $715,000 with no explanation. But the campaign didn't just change the total amounts. The filings also changed the amounts of the individual loans themselves, as well as the dates Santos made them. For instance, all previous 2022 reports show Santos making his most substantial loan, $500,000, on March 31st, 2022. That loan doesn't appear on the new report at all. Instead, the filing seems to have split that $500,000 into three separate loans. Not only that, but the campaign now claims that Santos actually made those three loans about a half a year later, $300,000 on September 10th, $100,000 September 20th, $100,000 on October 10th, another $80,000 loan from June 2021 also appeared in those earlier filings, including his prior report. However, that loan is missing this latest filing, which now shows a previously undisclosed loan, this time in October 2022, for the amount of $90,000. And we'll end with this. Jordan LaBallett's communications director for Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington told the Daily Beast that it comes down to one question. Was Santos lying about his funding during the campaign, or is he lying about it now? Because he's changing all these different things about when loans were coming in, what the size of the loans were. And so previously he had to be lying, or now he's lying. And it's not tiny little details. I just walked through some of what is being outlined here, the significant details. And so when you have an already questionable loan, how is he even able to all of a sudden loan himself $700,000 when his financial past doesn't seem to reflect that being a possibility? But okay, maybe something. But then that exact loan is now subject to all these changes that experts say they can't exactly explain why that would be a situation that is necessary and that is not violating laws. Very interesting, the disclosure laws, but wild stuff with George Santos every single day, and now he's seeking re-election.